No, there we are. Good as new. Or at least pretending like I am. So, let's start out our jolly Pyromancer profession tonight. That's definitely what I had in mind, and that's what we're going to do. So, hi Joe, welcome. Hi Rajul. I can't believe that it took me that long to get the kid into bed tonight. He was so tired that at some point he was angry about being angry. That was a weird conversation we had. Hi Hjoran. Yeah, so my evoker is up and running. We're going to dismantle this part of the formation as the next thing. We don't need the priest, I just need something to spread more intelligence over my critters via spellcasting, but so far I had a quite good time grinding the 100 realm quests to get that costume going. Yeah, and I felt like it's time for a change. So Pyromancer, we do heavy use of the burning debuff to deal damage to enemies over time. In addition, your own creatures will be afflicted with this debuff, but will heal and empower them rather than dealing damage. Awesome. Now, well, that's certainly not what I expected to see. Let's leave those in my pen. And let's get into the... Ooh, I have the master costumes now. No, we want Viking Rager. No, Pyromancer. Here, there we are. So we're going to do the usual things, but I'm pretty sure that my whole strategy will revolve around this jolly crowd here, the Freety. I want to check them out before I go into the perk tree. Unlike the other streams, we're going to start to look at the creatures. Burning lasts forever. Yeah. Also applies while I have the Inflames trait. After this creature defends or provokes, it increases the potency of burning by 65%. We recover health from burning instead of taking damage. Okay, whenever somebody takes damage from burning, we deal 30% of that to other enemies. When an enemy's burning debuff expired or is removed, deal damage to it to equal to 5 turns of this debuff. That sounds like something we could trigger by ourselves to nuke enemies with. After this creature attacks a creature with burning, the target takes damage equal to 4 times of this debuff. Okay. And after this creature attacks, it afflicts the target with burning. Wow, creative. The target already has burning and afflicts all enemies with burning. Okay. The Burny burns. Now let's check the traits of our character class. Backdraft. After an enemy takes damage from burning, they are afflicted with either scorned or silenced. Yum. My creatures deal additional damage equal to the potency of the burning debuff. Yum. So that should apply to attacks and spells at the same time. If an enemy dies while it is afflicted with burning, it cannot be resurrected. Nice. After my creatures are damaged or healed by burning, they gain shelled. Ooh, that's cool. That's really cool. Because shelled is an absolute negation of damage. Combustion. After an enemy takes damage from burning, they have a chance to be sent to the bottom of the timeline. I like these. After my creatures are damaged or healed by burning, a random enemy takes damage to 100% of that as well. Okay. Enemies always have burning. Wonderful. Creatures with burning take damage based on the inflictor's intelligence. So we are an intelligence-based compo. After an enemy takes damage from burning, they are afflicted with bomb. And bomb is scaling from with speed. After my creatures with burning are killed, they have a chance to be resurrected. Neat. After my creatures are damaged or healed by burning, the potency of all creatures' burning debuffs increases. Okay. So we definitely need to let turns pass to get the full effect of our situation here. My creatures' spells that interact with burning have more potency. Okay. 100% more potency, by the way. Creatures' spells that interact with burning do not consume charges. My creatures always have burning instead of taking damage from them. Okay, this lets me skip the other Ifrit there. After an enemy takes damage from burning, each of my creatures have a chance to cast a Scourge spell on an enemy. Cool. And after an enemy with burning is killed, enemies take damage equal to the potency of that creature's burning debuff. So whenever something burning dies, it explodes. Neat. I like this character class already. Okay, so let's see how much of these Ifrit will be used here now that we know the traits. So enemies burning debuff lasts forever. Do I need that? Let's see, didn't I have something like that? Or enemies always have burning. I mean, that sounds pretty absolute, doesn't it? So we're not gonna take that. Alright, Dreadful Ifrit. After this creature defends or provokes, it increases the potency of each enemy's burning debuff. Well, sure, it's a tanky thing, but is it really good? I don't think so. We don't need that one either. That's something I definitely want to have. This splashes the burn damage to enemies. I want to try the Obsidian Ifrit if he works with the Dispels. If so, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, okay, the Volcanic Ifrit definitely has a decent thing for itself. And after this creature attacks, it afflicts the target with burning. Well, that's not really interesting here. Unless we can remove burning in a way that we need to reapply it at some point, but I don't know. Okay, that means we are now sitting only at a very small foundation of units. Let's check out one more thing though, and that's the Sigil of the Ifrit. Let's see if that's so cool that I want to have it. When your creatures afflict enemies with burning, the potency of this debuff is increased by 50% for each Ifrit fighting on my side. So, well, this is pretty cool because it means that it will be effective even if I only have 3 Ifrit in my combo. I mean, that's already 150% more potency on the burns, so probably a thing we're going to take. Nice! So we can pick more different creatures, but that also, well, I want to use that sigil, because I think it's a really powerful idea to take that. But let's see, who's also fire-oriented. Let's see who's fire, boom, buffing, whatever. Hey Joran, welcome back. That was a long time to fetch a drink. I didn't expect you to be away that long. So, I need more creatures that interact in any way with burning. The Ifrit were quite a disappointment. I'm waiting for the water to boil. I see. I have learned to, or I'm starting to learn to summon my own god avatar. Avatars. That's cool stuff. So we need some stuff that's good with fire. Hi Pins, welcome. Nice to see you again. It's been a while. No, not the bats. Not the bats. So carbuncles, they were always a pretty neat idea, but well, I want to see if I can find anything that interacts with burning, because I'm a pyromancer. I need creatures that interact with burning one way or another. Bomb would be also still a thing I would take. Cerberus, well, no burn interaction. Because the really special thing about the Pyromancer seems to be the burn debuff interactions. Oh, for graduating in less than 3 weeks. Good luck with that. That sounds like you have a lot of work ahead of you. Really hope the pressure is not too heavy. Because that's, for me, that was always the biggest issue while I was graduating with my economy stuff. So, Jinn. Well, maybe Jinn and Ifrit work together. Jinn Pyromancer. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm running that in my Evoker, on my Evoker build, and I think I will just pick that guy up for this formation as well, but I'm making a new one because maybe I want to fuse them differently. But the Jinn Pyromancer's trait is way too good to not use it for any spellcasting combo. The dragons are debuffing enemies a lot. Dryads, well... And there's the Ifrit again. I mean, the Dreadful Ifrit would be somewhat useful, but I don't know. I'm not convinced, unless I really need to fill my ranks with something. But there are so many creatures, there could be another option. Ghouls. Well, ghouls were also revolving around speed, which is good for bombs, that's why I'm considering it. But I think that's not an idea which works. Also, I have learned to summon a couple of God Spawn. But that's another story. After this creature is attacked, it afflicts enemies with burning. Well, that's not really a incredible thing. War Golem just does things doubly. Grimoires. Pyro Grimoire. This creature's spells that apply the burning debuff deal 30% more damage. Enemies' burning debuffs applied by this creature also deal more damage. Well, that's at least something which is exactly running with my traits, so I'm going to pick it up. I want to have only spells which interact with burning, so the charges on my creatures won't be an issue after all. So, let's see. Hunters for sure aren't interesting. Imps. Creatures' spell gems have a chance to be cast one additional time. When do you not want that, you know? When do you actually not want that? So, who can be fused in any way? So... this guy would be ideally featuring a lot of intelligence to get that thing rolling as strong as possible. Well, hi Vinmanen, welcome. We're going to just get that imp incarnate on somebody because, you know, reasons. Chances for extra spell casts. Why should I not take that? Let's just tinker it in on one of the Ifrit. There we go. Oh, wait a sec. Yeah, the Ifrit has an intelligence focus. Okay.
This is very personal.
Oh, thanks for the gift, my friend. So, number 96. That's 69 rewards. Just wanted to say that. Wow, that's a sick coloring. And welcome back among the subscribers pins. Happy to see that. Joe is working hard to crack the 100. So we were... yeah, I was busy with the imps. We're not gonna be casting too many nature spells, but extra spell casts. Let's just take that and say thanks. So, the liches. Well, I just need to play some Fortnite or Apex Legends if we want to have fresh meat. Just kidding, I'm not gonna touch these games. Don't want to go too deep into competitive ever again. Oh, Mimic. I need to summon that. Hi there, Mr. Chest. Probably gonna use that after all. Oh, the Pandora. I'm also able to summon that? Ooh. Yeah, sure. I mean, why not? Hey, Zay, welcome. Oh, that's even a achievement on that. Yeah, I'm so happy that you are hanging around here again. April's Fool's stream. Well, could do that. So So, poison and burning are shared. That's nothing we want. After this creature attacks, it increases the potency of the target's poison and burning. Well, I think I do have already a character that works like that. But I'm not too impressed right now by that interaction. So, Nixus? Occultists. Okay, occultists could be a thing again. Sorcery spells. I guess my spellcast will be mostly chaos, but I'm not sure. Well, the spellbinder is a pretty regular thing to pick. Well, let's see. I'm not convinced about it yet. Somebody please interact with Joe. He seems to be lonely. Alright. Paragons. You're always lonely. I'm sad to hear that. Making these mean jokes. I'm a very empathetic person. Stop messing around with me. So, well. There's nothing we really want to have from the Phoenix side. The Phoenixes sounded like something which could interact with burning, you know? After an enemy takes damage from these, your creatures recover health. Ooh yeah. Oh yeah, we're going to take that. This is a cheap sustain mechanism for the whole combo. I like that. And it interacts really well with the stuff we do. So it's even better. So who we're going to tinker that upon? Do that on one of the Ifrits, because they are really just around here for their traits. My castle looks nice. Yeah, I was a little bit busy here. Plague dudes have a ton of nice if you got debuff stuff too. Yeah, we're going to check that out in a sec. But first, let me fuse a Ifrit. So we're going to. Let's see if... Well, I'm not going to fuse anything into the Obsidian Ifrit until I have found out if I can't even use that. So we have to plug in a Dispel on that thing. But, well... Alright, we're just going to put it onto the Pyro Grimoire. Or wait a sec. If I go for the Pyro Grimoire, I can as well check out... I find the creature that I want to fuse again. Here. Oh yeah, he's going to be the parent. He has a high intelligence. Fuse Arenos into the Pyro Grimoire. Well, that's looking quite sick. Alright, now we have a healing effect when... Wait a sec. This creature's spells that apply the burning debuff. This is only a creature spell, a creature trait. Okay, got to keep that in mind. Possibly did a bad fuse there. Well, we're going to see. But I think that was the only one that worked around burns. Okay. The priests, but I don't want to run with those. Acolytes. My creatures have more intelligence. That's always nice. takes damage of maximum health and converts it into intelligence. Okay. Sure thing. Reapers. Let's not get started with Reapers. All effects that activate when a creature dies will affect one additional time. I could weave that into my explosion effect, but let's check out the Salamanders. Wow. Good old auto trigger buddies there. So, well. It's quite much a no-brainer, but let's keep looking. I guess I will pick something from the Salamanders after all, because automatic spellcasts are just awesome. There's nothing bad about that. Really curious to see how much damage that actually does. Slimes. Smogs. Well, they're poison based. Soul flares. That's all damage reflection. Spirits are healers. Tremors. Well, Volcano. It's a bread and butter spell if I remember correctly. A chili plant. There is a creature that kind of looks like that, but I'm sure it's not supposed to be one. But I know exactly which one you mean. So, Wolves. Wow. I could just take the Wolves I'm running with my Evoker for that slot. Glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm going to pick up the Wolves of my Evoker's combo, because there's nothing bad about that. Wolpertingers, Wyvern. Okay, so we have that one slot open. And let's see here, the Terra Wolves. We just get 3 chances to spellcast our stuff. And, well, let's see. There's still plenty of room to put new traits into and stuff. Okay, let's check out spells that interact with burning. Blast Wave. Enemies take a small amount of damage or a massive amount of damage if they are afflicted with burning. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, the game's counting for me. Silly me. I don't need to do that. Wonderful. Because everything that interacts with burning is for free for us, so... Alright, let's take the Conflagration as well. I'm not sure if I really need 6 of those, because we only have 3 spell slots, but still want to make sure that I got spells for everybody. So enemies take a large amount of damage and are afflicted with burning. That doesn't interact with burning, but we're going to put it into the roster nevertheless. So now to the ironic part, we have not a single creature that has the ability to equip chaos spells, so we'll have to upgrade that a ton to at least change the classes. That's something where I feel like it would be cool if there would be more intuitive ways of doing that. Alright, so I want to have now these spells on pretty much everybody. So we need 4 with sorcery. Enchanting. I got how many of those? No clue how many of those I got, but 14. Okay, so we need these spells like that. Okay. Not sure about the volcanoes yet. So we're going to need 1 nature and 1 life beyond that. Life and nature. Like, it would be really cool if the game would automatically give me the option to install these gems and upgrade these gems according to my plans. Like, if I select that gem on a creature where it doesn't fit, that the game would be like, while I'm in my castle, do you want to invest this amount of energy to just do these upgrades? That would be really slick and make the game a lot more accessible. But, well, let's see. We're going to equip these things on everybody. And, oh well, there's no healing spell available here right now. Okay. Okay, I'd say I'll just leave it with that. We're going to go into this. Oh, I need artifacts. Hi, sir. No, welcome. I need artifacts still. So this is an attacker. He's gonna stay like that. I'm going to give him a sword. Let's do something like that. I have auto revives for now, and I'm considering to put some revive spells onto the critters. I have a 25% chance to revive on death while creatures are burning, but that's nothing too solid to rely on. It was the first thing I wanted to change. But one thing at a time. Now I'm trying to configure the process of killing stuff. And it will be all spell casting. Now we're going to need some artifacts. So we have 5 spellcasters and 1 fighter. Let's see what we can do. Oh, I can't hold the button to upgrade them like that. Oh no. Man. Say goodbye to my grinded brimstone deposits. Oh, that hurts. It's so costly. Alright, sir, no, thanks for stopping by. Good night, man. Good night. Okay, so we got that now. And let's socket things. So, didn't I have a perk that was interacting with... Isn't there something with bombs involved? Yeah, after an enemy takes damage from burning, they are afflicted with bomb. So, speed is also a trait that we should boost. I mean, let's try that. Let's try that for the first time to go intelligence speed on that combo. I mean, I will lose a few percent of intelligence in the long run, but I don't think it's going to be that problematic, honestly. So, spell potency is always something I love to go for. And now... It's always difficult to... Well, let's not... Let's keep those open. If I don't know anything good, I'll rather keep it open. But there's never anything wrong with spell potency. I could... Oh yeah, I know what I'm going to do. Very basic things. Spell gem slots. Because that's something I already noticed that I wasn't happy with it. This way we have more firepower and more options. Perfect. Just what I wanted. There we go. Really curious to see how this plays out. Oh, I made one staff too much. Well, that's okay. Just realized that my Volps doesn't need one. But let's just work with that. Okay, then level ups. Alright. This is growing costly by now. Ugh. Now, let's go for Realm Depth 250 and see what'll happen. So the fight starts. Everything and everybody burns. And we're starting to cast spells and we're immediately killing stuff. Okay, so far so good. That means we need something that lasts a little bit longer. Okay, so... yeah, these auto triggers are just foolproof. Nothing too special about that. But we're going to try and find something that lasts a little bit longer. But I also noticed that I don't need to hold back, which is a nice feeling. So we're gonna have a nether boss to play around with. But I want to install some revive options before I go there, because I can already tell that this won't work without revives. But so far, the damage seems to be quite solid. There we go. Already people dying, but also getting resurrected. Oh! plasma for whatever an Alakadon is. Let's check out the skins. Oh, I have one for an Ifrit. Nice. Gonna pack it on this one. Okay, so revives. I wanted to have revives. So we have none available for the colors I'm playing. Benediction for heals, but we don't really need that. No. Okay, so we're going to create more resurrection gems. Gonna go for a major resurrection. Let's do another 6 of them, because we seem to need them. And as usual, upgrade them. At least I have now. Oh gosh, I'm out of opals. Oh no. Ah, it's always the same gem to swap the classes. Now I get it. Well, okay, we'll have to work with a lower amount of resurrection spells then. I thought it was a different gem for every element I'm switching to. Dang. Well, okay, we're going to see how good that works. We need something with a little bit more of a resilience, because so far, damage seems to be quite ridiculous. Okay. We still have to find something that's not getting immolated immediately. Ah, here we go. But so far, very straightforward and linear. We didn't get our enemies to act on us, but that's okay. Progression is at this point, if you have the right build, not really a problem, and it seems like we are already on a good way here. Ah, here we are. That's gonna be probably more interesting. Pyromancers. That's an entirely new breed. All my creatures are Pyromancers. They're on attack, and when attacked effects activate one additional time. Never seen this flock before. Okay. Let's check out Myrtle. Okay, these guys aren't dying immediately. After a creature is killed, this creature gains 50% of its stats. The creature is immune to damage while its allies are alive. Okay, great. So, I want to check out if Dispel is doing what I think it does. Well, I think Burn got removed for a second before it got renewed. So, let's see. So far, so good. We seem to be quite resilient, and let's see. How much damage is that already? Well, it seems to me like Conflagration starts to deal more damage than the other skill. And this guy just exploded for 400k. Okay. Now, let's see. 100k, 200k hits. Jesus. Doesn't stop scaling. Okay. That's quite an interesting thing. But it also means that this guy is completely useless here. Because we don't expire or remove burning debuffs, so that trait can be removed. Which means for me, I'm quite confused about how to enhance this buff, this build even further. I mean, we could go for a god weapon, for example. Oh, it even snuffs out enemies with rebirth. Just realized that. Huh. That's cool. So... wow. Let's check out the perks one more time. So... we deal more damage when the potency hits, and we get shelled when they burn. We get bombs when they burn. But I don't have an innate way to increase the potency of the burns. That's what I was interested in. So burn potency increases are something that I have to do on my own. I'm wondering if I can find something on the Great Pandemonium map which would help me. Because that's the most fire-related god I can think of. Because I'm quite surprised that the interactions are that simple to do and that still that effective. I mean, in the end, we did a terrible amount of damage there, and that's me casually card farming here. So yeah, I'm also quite surprised about the resilience we have here. I mean, the enemies didn't really scratch us at the point at that nether boss fight before. I didn't expect to get that away that easy. Project ready to turn in. Yeah, we have foraged. That's good. Started to do these projects more and more. Okay, let's oh, maybe here. Let's see. When an enemy takes damage from burning, it has a 50% chance to take this damage a second time. It's either one of those. So it's a 50-50 chance that they are unable to attack or be silenced. So let's see. Ceaseless Flame. I think there were several ones that interacted with burning. While an enemy takes damage from burning, it loses attack and defense. Okay. It's actually quite powerful. Is there more? I don't think there's more, but... and then there would be god weapons. Let's see, Blaze Fury. Yeah, at rank 30 it heals me instead of taking damage from burning. It's quite pathetic. So, Barra deals extra damage for each enemy afflicted with burning. After the Barra deals damage to an enemy with an attack. Okay. The most interesting thing here is the rank 100 thing, where we get an auto-resurrect if we are burning. But beyond that, these god weapons are surprisingly underwhelming. At least their ranks here, but whatever. It fits thematically, and there's a achievement chain for these to take, so we're going to equip that one to the attacker Ifrit. And then we're going to attune our Triumvir to our spellcaster here. This thing is at least already level 50. Non-godly god weapons. The god weapons are really boring. Quite disappointed about their potency and all. Hey, I didn't want to go into the same realm again. I actually wanted to go Pandemonium, just forgot about it. Well. I feel like the god weapons are a section in the game where the game is still early access and they feel like an unfinished feature, basically. But this is surprisingly straightforward, easy, and effective. I really didn't expect to be done that quickly with the raw build, and we're already progressing here. Quite well, I'd say. Let's see, Leech Master. I mean, that's just so much damage up front. Our enemies are not really able to do anything about that. I like that. Certainly don't want to mutter, but I'm surprised that it was that easy to bring up enough damage to play around with your enemies like that. But I sure enjoy the fact that it's that easy. Difficult is often enough. Building the Evoker was a lot more complicated here. Oh, killing enemies with the rebirth buff and seeing them not revive makes me happy. I'm not gonna lie, this is a really, really cool thing. So, the Mimic. Mimics are also a pretty good power test. But we're really destroying enemies just like that. Wow. I wonder when it will be crushed the first time. Oh, the raid is ready for a turn in. So I have to kill all the nether bosses one more time now to unlock the next feature. I'm really looking forward to that. Because there's also the guilds of Rhodia. I've never been that far. And there's also this anointment system which will allow us ultimately to pick up perks from other classes. That's when things will get spicy. Well, whatever. Let's grind some cards. Okay, let's go. This is even smoother farming than the Evoker, actually. Quite surprised about that one. And so far resurrections have not been a problem at all. But okay. I mean, right now we're just nuking everything up front. That can't work forever, I think. We'll see. But the fact that all these spells that interact with burning are for free, I don't care if we spend spell charges like crazy, because we are not. It's pretty cool. Oh, I still have to equip one volcano spell to find out if it actually counts as interacting with burning or not, because it only inflicts burning. Come on, give me your card. My critters are by now level 1400. Well, the enemies are around level 2000, so it's not that much of an advantage then anymore. But I did realize that every creature gains around 10 HP per level, and this means that level disadvantage does hurt you at some point. Oh, an emblem. Did I find a key? Yes, I did. Nice. Alright, more resources. It's hard to believe, but in a way you want them all. Now let's see how deep we can go. Oh, I wanted the Pandemonium God. I keep forgetting that. But that chain reaction of enemies with burning exploding for a part of their burn potency is just whittling down enemy groups in no time. It's really amazing. This acts like extra spell casts if somebody starts dying. And since we have auto burn on our enemies, I really like that. Really like that. Now the only question remains is which traits would be good to be combined into this as well. Because it looks quite happy already, but I'd prefer to make it even happier. Because I discovered today when I unlocked the Gate of Gods that there are very, very specific boss fights up ahead of us. I'm gonna show off the Gate of Gods between the next level and then forget to configure the Great Pandemonium entrance again. I'm pretty sure that I can do that. I'm in high hopes of my capabilities. Oh, that was a fight where we had almost no autocasts to begin with. Jeez. I feel like with the Evoker I had to cast manually more often, especially because enemies were able to resurrect. But due to the burning enemies can't resurrect trait, the table is empty quite decisively. I like that. I really like that. I think this makes this a very powerful farm character. But it's also very reliant on spellcasts. Maybe I want to change that in a way. And I'm considering to invest the Brimstone to get the Nether Boss artifacts, because they sure sound like quite interesting add-ons. Especially burns lowering the enemy stats, softening them up, pretty good stuff. stat manipulations are one weak side of this build so far. But the base stats are quite high already. Clutcher Master. Well. When an enemy dodges your Clutcher's attacks, they still take damage. Okay. What a weird concept. But Clutchers are quite fun to play. So we get 1 gate key if we do this experiment, do this project. Okay, it's quite costly. All right, I have actually not forgotten it. So if this guy doesn't have stuff which interacts with burning, I'd be surprised. So if this creature doesn't take damage, decorations of fire. Well, basilisks. It's actually not fire interacting at all. Firestorm, Flame Strike. I wonder if Flame Strike counts as interacts with burning. It does sound like it does. Extends the duration of the enemy's debuff by 1 turn and increases the debuff's potency by 100%. Oh yeah, Inferno and Raise. That's stuff I want to have. But I'm quite surprised about it, but there's really not much creature-wise that I want to have. But Raise and Inferno sound quite amazing. Well, do I want that spell? Well, I want it, yes. Might be good in a way. There are so many things which you can buy with these stupid god emblems, and they are so hard to come by. It's so brutal. Like, there's one critter which you can summon, one extra monster which you can summon from every god, but it costs you 50 emblems to get the heart of that creature. These are quite heavy costs. Yeah, that burn and explode is just super mighty. Okay. I really expected to be running more Ifriti though. Now I have only 2 Ifrits that I want to keep actually. Which is very unexpected to me. Alright. And I have the feeling the deeper I go, the more items are lying around on the floor. Like, the random stuff to interact with seems to grow denser the deeper I go. It's hard to tell though if I'm right or not. But I got the feeling like there's way more stuff to click through than before. crazy. And with these new spells, I have new options to increase the pressure on the enemies. Like by increasing the potency of the burns, we do gain a lot of extra benefits from that. Yeah, so spellcaster classes are really fun to play, I gotta admit that. There's not really much about it to set it up. There's just a couple of creatures that bring the auto triggers that are really important to be used, I think. Especially these wolves are amazing. Bringing them into the party gives you just a chance to fire your guns before the enemy is allowed to act, and that's really, really powerful, I think. So did I now get the ability to craft these new spells, or yes, that's exactly what it did. So raise, I want that 3 times, and what was the other one? What was the other one called again? Inferno? Yeah. But I think I'm out of opals, so let's see. I have 1. So which spell do I want to have? The Inferno or the Raise? Take damage equal to 2 turns of their burning debuff. I want to try that out, because it sure sounds like something interesting to me. So we had lots of sorcery creatures. Here we go. Too bad that I don't have the necessary resources to go for more here, but probably want to unlock more of these god spells. Let's check out what this guy has. The Eft dude has arrow spells, I see. Enemies take a small amount of damage based on the caster's speed instead of intelligence. So these are all speed-based casts. That's the specialty about it. It's quite an interesting choice if you have, if speed is all you have. Well, my god, I didn't expect to be that effective. But I wonder if realm depth progress will be always that easy, or if it will grow harder somewhere later down there. Because I felt like ever since I have optimized my parties around nuking enemies up front before they can act, the regular progression became a lot easier. I'm not playing any instabilities because they are not really lucrative at that part. Well, they do increase the loot somewhat, yes, but beyond that, the randomness of them is really brutal, and it makes the fights go longer, and I had the impression that I was looting less because the fights took longer and my progression was slower, and I die sometimes so that my favor thingy gets reset. Yeah, when I'm trying to get cards, which I'm not too crazy behind after right now. I was thinking the other day about why should I want as much loot as possible, and I noticed that there aren't too many reasons actually to crank up the loot like as much as I can. Clockwork floor. Ooh, Neat. And the problem with the instabilities is that part of them is invisible when you start, and there are just certain characteristics which just counter your builds. Well, we can go for some instabilities if you guys want to check it out, but like I said, I really don't feel like the rewards are that good at this point. Like, well, we're not going to take another boss on instability. I was always like, if I have less than Realm Instability 5, I didn't really notice any difference in the loot. And if I go Realm Instability 5, I get exploded in the face from time to time. Don't know. Nurlix. Okay. But these guys are a lot stronger than the last few, than the last time that I was fighting them. At the end of this creature's turn, it locks onto enemy creatures. At the start of its turn, attack deals damage to 10,000% of its attack to the creature it's locked onto, or 300 if the creature is defending. Okay. So we have to defend when this thing is evil-eyeing us. Got it. Okay. Let's go for a few conflagrations. And there's the boss down. So we don't need to respect the eye anymore. So raise, how much damage would that deal? 156k at that point. Ouch. Okay. The Wispmaster. Yeah, Pyro is pretty fun. And it's quite easy to put it up. I mean, I'm really surprised about the effectiveness. And I think it wasn't that dumb to make the staffs go intelligence speed, because the bombs do explode way harder due to that. But since burning scales with intelligence, you want high intelligence on your creatures. I assume, at least. I mean, it works, so it seems to be okay what I'm doing. Well, I don't know, with the Evoker, I'm right now at a point where I get these auto triggers, and if they nuke the enemies, I'm happy, and if they don't nuke the enemies, I have spells to increase my defenses and decrease the enemy defenses, and then we keep nuking, and then I win. It's a little bit easy at this point, but I guess it won't stay like that forever. Can't imagine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this interactable stuff is more. Although I had a really good time with the Evoker, but one thing I really didn't like about the Evoker is that he's such a generalistic class that it feels like pretty hard to focus into something. You get bonuses into all manner of things. You can use spell gems from every color. You can, yeah, you're basically very undefined, and that can be a problem. Stat modding. I see. Well, sometimes I feel like if a character class is defining your build strongly, this can be sometimes also a help to get to find a red line and all that content the game provides. If you get my idea. Like the Pyromancer, it makes it easy to follow that you will have to use burns and then you will be good. And that makes it a lot easier to know what to focus on. Whereas the Evoker is like, hey, you can use all spells that you want, and all spells that you do will be more powerful. Everything you heal will be more powerful. Every stat you increase will be more powerful. Now have fun. This is good and bad in one at once. So I wanted to do something back at home, but I can't remember what it was. So I want to replace one creature because I'm very unhappy with the fact that this trait which deals damage when I would remove burning never triggers. I'd rather have something like the Unicorn Firewalker, which just casts volcanoes if it attacks, but that's also not too impressive. We didn't really seem to need any stat enhancers or stuff like that, because stacking burns seem to work quite decently. Well, we could always go for a smith. Smiths are always a thing to have. But I don't know. It's just a little bit boring. Salamanders. I wanted to check out the salamanders one more time. Thunder salamander. Well. But that's not really a thing I need either. That's not really a thing either. Well, after my creatures cast a sorcery spell, they gain intelligence. Yeah, well, this sounds quite good, actually. But, well, I just keep going. I can optimize if I fall flat, you know. For now, let's just keep the grind rolling. Because it's awesome as long as it works. I don't need to invest new resources. Because that's the real downside with my strategies with trying out so many things. You've seen how much brimstone I invested into those artifacts, and well, I like to have artifacts for all my teams, you know. So for the next depth, I'm going to crank up the realm instability to see how good it works. Also doing these divination candle fights because they are really, really helpful, not only to farm cards, but also to advance your creatures level-wise, which is surprisingly important in detail. Because, you know, it's okay to be... Ooh, we found a skin. Storm Dancer. Cool. Because it's okay to be behind in a couple of hundred levels, but at the same time, it's pretty important to just try to catch up to some degree, because the base stats are still a thing. Which you can't completely ignore. Alright. It's the robes we shall collect. The real funny thing is I have the feel... I feel like the Pyromancer definitely deals more damage than the Evoker. Because of the ability to stack up that debuff alone. I feel like there's a lot more pressure from this class. I mean, that's a good thing. Generalists should always be punished for their versatility. Get my idea. If you want to be good at everything, you shouldn't be too brilliant at everything. Otherwise, there would be no reason for the other classes to exist. Seriously, we're just burning stuff down. Amazing. Alright, the only thing I really seem to need are more opals. Warrior foot. Okay. Because there's still a couple of spells that I want to attach to this team. I really do like the bombs on top of the burns, because that's also an extra source of damage. Jeez. Wow. It looked so much weaker on paper. Oh yeah. These fights from these demon statues, they always yield quite interesting trade items at some point. These pandemonium items are unique and very, very interesting in their effects. So in this level I could, or with this class I could use more creatures with traits to fuse in. Yeah, that's right, Rajul. You can only work with your experiences. But the Evoker wasn't focusing into any condition, so... The Evoker's only trait was to... or is to grow stronger with each spell cast in the same turn. So the class is all built around cascading lots of spell casts into each other. So I'm not too surprised that this one is doing the job faster, because it's just utilizing a strong burn damage up front and then amplifying the damage even more. But I'm pretty sure that the Pyromancer is easier to crack. There we go, finally the last rope. But in the end, you're of course right, there's no way to calculate these things unless you crack open the code. I really hope that the game will be a little bit less mysterious about these things in the future, because sometimes I would really like to know how much power a spell has or not. Siralim. Angels. Well, more damage and afflicts target with burning. That's not really too interesting. Divine Aegis. Barrier. Holy Fire. It was an attempt. Okay. I'm sure some modders will add an extended UI mod at some point. I hope. So I'm going to fetch myself some fresh tea and going to take a toilet break. Be right back. There we are. Yeah, I feel also like the numbers should be included. Because it makes it way too hard to determine if you want to use a spell or not. Really hope that there will be a change. Oh, a treasure golem. Let's see what kind of evil things I have to hear about that now. So, I think I'm going to be sick, my child. No, I misspoke. You are no child of mine. Alright. Bloodletter knife. And a couple of other items. Good old treasure golem. Ah, no, I forgot to amp up the realm instability. Whoops. Let's do that. I hope. So far, oh yeah. Now we're talking business, but no. That didn't really stop us either. So damage reflection seemed to be a thing, which my creatures did care about. But only for a moment. Just only for a moment. Wow. I do like that. Especially since it gets the stuff done really quickly. Last night before some days off from work. Well, Windman, I can only say this game will keep you entertained for a couple of hours, days, weeks, months, depending on how deep you want to go. There we go. Come on, give me that card. Jesus, we're just ripping them apart. Well, it's not only me calling a tutorial. I also saw it on the Discord server today that the main story is considered to be the tutorial of the game. So I'm not alone with this assumption. Okay. So the next character class I need to pick up will be something more complicated again. Well, if your competence development is not keeping you, or well, no. If your work performance suffers from computer games, your work sucks. Sorry if that was a little bit direct, but what I'm trying to say is if it's really important to you, you are most likely going to be sticking around with it and taking a break and getting your mind to work on something else than the stuff you are working before. Sometimes is even good for your brain routine to reset a little bit and grow back to healthy behaviors. But I guess everybody works a little bit differently on that department. But I always felt like a good time waster is also resetting your battery quite well, because us humans, we are genetically time wasters, you know, where our predecessors, they were walking a lot, and then they were hunting a lot, and when they didn't need to fetch food or anything like that, they were just lazy bums enjoying life. And that's why we are the same. Like, if there's nothing to do, human people like to enjoy life, and that's just what life in general likes to do. So follow these urges from time to time. It's good for your mental stability. It was quite hard for me when I did my economy degree to stick to that rule as well, because I really felt like I had so little time and so many things to learn. It was like crazy. Okay, let's go for instability 3. Do as little as possible in an attempt to save energy. Well, at times it was for me like only getting down and sleeping for a couple of minutes. Sometimes that's also a luxurious thing to do. Especially when my kid was less than a year old. And then until he was like 2 years old, I learned how valuable a moment of sleep can be. Temple of Lies. I think it was Perdition, no, it was Aurum, okay. Well, optimization things, Vinman, optimization things. Alright, now we have a competition. That thing is just biting my peeps down like nothing. So let's dispel. And, oh yeah, okay, snuff works if we dispel. Alright. It's not entirely useless. Hooray! It's not entirely useless. Wonderful. Okay, I didn't resurrect here because I didn't feel like it was necessary. Okay. Project turn in. I should always have an impossible project open, like one of these god spawns, to have a role open to finish them for free. Would save 50 emblems, you know. Oh, we're supposed to donate firewood here. I see. I mean, I definitely got the firewood, but where are the igloos? Alright, so far I don't really notice that I'm playing a realm instability at all. So, career spark. Oh yeah, damage reflection stuff. This is quite sick. Okay, since the snuff thing is working, I'm going to keep the Ifrit, and I think I'm going to use the Sigil of Ifrit, which does something about the burn debuffs, amplifies them. Okay, Gargantuan Master. Let's see if I can't even beat Masters, because the Masters are a lot more nasty there. Okay, Raze was doing a lot of work here. These guys are crazy, like, it only looks like they're taking no damage, but it's delayed damage. They will take all the damage when they are going to act, or their turn begins, or whatever you want to call it. They should basically drop that when they get to act. Your Gargantuans have a 50% chance to avoid damage while they're defending or provoking. Crazy. Yeah, it's basically like that. You also get a random set of stats that are influencing the map when you play with realm instabilities. Here's igloos. So realm instabilities also make the enemies more powerful by fusing them per se with monsters, which makes them have 2 traits. And this adds a lot of randomness into the combats. Whereas without realm instabilities, the progression is quite linear and foreseeable. Yeah, there's a lot going on with that game. And I keep saying it, but I'll repeat it one more time. It's like Siralim has a long history of development already. There are 3 predecessors, and you really notice that. This game is merely the attempt to make a finalized version, which unifies the best of all worlds. And I'm gonna say, Dev is working hard to make this dream come true. It's also a reason why I do promote this game so much. Because it's for sure one of the hardest promotions I do for a indie game like that. So, maximum bow, yeah, let's do that. So, realm instability tier 4. Let's see if we're still kicking it like that. So sick floor, okay. I entered the realm and immediately triggered the quest to leave it, to successfully finish the level. That's what I call lucky. So I avoid the resurrects because these would be using charges. Pretty stupid, but wow. And with realm instabilities, also the loot amount increases, as we see here. But our enemies grow more and more resilient, at least to some degree. Troll Master. Can't remember ever to face trolls before. Yeah, they're smashing us quite hard. So let's drop a conflagration. And here we can't just do the resurrections. Okay. Easy peasy. Master of Trolls. My trolls have more attack and less intelligence for each troll. I forgot to take a look on the other thing. Oopsie. So, yeah, conflagration deals so much damage, it's insane. Should probably make that a standard cast. Troll mob mentality. More ouch, less think. Sounds like a legit thing to do. Gives the word think tank an entirely new dimension. Alright, let's summon these Rift Dancers. Because I want that card. I wonder if you can get any benefit out of a low intelligence or a low stat in general. Okay, these are quite resilient. I bet they are fused with something resilience providing. Alright, I think we can go for instability rank 5 I mean. Because that's just not really bothering us at all. Okay, that's neat. And I don't even feel like I am running a too sophisticated approach here. Just some auto attacks and some auto spell casts and some chances to repeat spells. That wasn't really too sophisticated at all. Ah yeah, the Ifrit sigil I want to install. That's one thing. Definitely want to do before I get into the next realm. Wow. I make it look this makes it look quite easy, but I know that Nemesis enemies are usually not that easy to take down. This is really powerful. But I honestly expected the Pyromancer to be quite strong. Could imagine that this class will fall flat in the late game though, when other qualities are more important than just flat out burst. Well, realm instabilities are very random. Like, usually 90% of the time everything works out quite decently, and then all of a sudden I run into some fusion that really turns out to be a problem, and then things grow strange. Come on, die already. Yeah. So enemies are definitely a lot more resilient now. But that's just fine. Yeah, there's definitely more interactable stuff here. Whoops, what did I soak in? Oh man, sometimes I wish there was a loot log. Well, I'm not sure what would happen there, Rajul, if we would just let these things compete with each other. I guess two things would be the case. Either the Pyro would just nuke your stuff down, or the Pyro doesn't nuke your stuff down and then you overwhelm it at some point. The only question that remains is, are the stacking debuffs from the burn stronger than the diminishing returns of stat gains at some point? It's something I can't tell. But I'm pretty sure that it would be all about the first 2 or 3 turns. And after that, it wouldn't be too interesting anymore, because you run this sort of counter-attack scaling thing. And I always feel like these things, you have to bang them down before they get into motion. So I won't be running against the Nether boss on realm instabilities. Not my style. I can't understand that. Well, I could imagine that there will be some kind of PvP where you can upload your formations and then you can compete with other players' formations, but that wouldn't be the real deal. Like, a human would make other decisions in the direct competition, but, you know, you get my idea, I guess. Oh no, we're all silenced. What a meanie. But we're still smashing it down by just exploding enemies. That's sick. Well, my Evoker, for example, if I would play that in a PvP situation, I would have a lot of options to choose from. And there, I feel like I wouldn't just let macros decide that. A dumpling! Awesome. So now I can finally turn in the prophecy card. Oh, we have gained a little bit of knowledge here. So, we're going to progress with this class a lot more, I guess. Because, you know, I like unlocking the costumes there. And you need to do 100 realm quests with a class to unlock the third and last costume, so I feel like I'm enjoying this kind of progression that much. I want to stick with that gun for now. How does unlocking new characters work? You defeat them and get to play them. Well, every monster you beat, you collect knowledge about, and if you have accumulated enough knowledge, you can summon it at a thing in your base. Certain monsters need special ways to summon them, but those are the exception and not the rule. Yeah. And then there's also the character classes, which you are unlocking by doing projects, which involve you doing several quests in the realms and gathering materials, which will spawn when you have these characters. And there's a lot of specializations in the game, like 30-ish, something. I think it was around 30 the last time I checked. And every one of them has a perk tree like the Pyro has. There's really a lot of stuff going on in this game. And so far I haven't encountered any idea that was extremely underpowered and not worthwhile picking it up. Like, there's a way of playing for everybody. For example, the Pyromancer is pretty cool. Yes, there's the card. But I do enjoy other builds a lot more. Like, especially, my favorites are builds where I rely on stuff like damage reflection, or... yeah, I like damage reflection in general. Going tanky and reflecting damage back at my attackers. The Necromancer feels underwhelming. Well, the Necromancer is supposed to stack up minions like crazy in a very fast time, but I agree with you that the Necromancer is a lot slower from the get-go than other classes here, for example the Pyro. But what the Necromancer has, he has an ultimate win condition with this scenario when you have all the 4 apocalyptic riders attached to a creature, which is something you should strive for to make the build really shine. But that's it's quite difficult to fabricate that. Especially when you're having not too many resources to work with from the beginning. But if I remember correctly, the Necromancer had extremely awesome buffs for the Apocalyptic Rider minions. So let's check out the Rift Dancer cards here. Oh, we have more stat gain when we're warded. Nice. Or something like that. King Andric. Okay. Oh, that's a minion master. Alright, we're also silenced. That's absolutely annihilating us. Yeah, being slow is is not really cool. But I always feel like if you want to be fast, you're usually a lot more susceptible, and if you're running it slower, you're a lot more unstoppable, so... Let's see if that silence came from the boss or from his minions. So... Okay. Okay. That's quite mean. Well, I'm wondering why I'm not dealing any damage from the beginning, but we're going to run into that a couple of times more. I mean, after all, there's one thing to remember. I'm right now running a like on minus 600 level combo. These are the moments when you suddenly start to realize that you are supposed to level up your creatures from time to time. And also it could be that this class is a lot more powerful, or this nether boss is quite powerful against my class. Or my build just sucks. But we're going to find that out. I really like to go for 3 summons from the candle and leave it like that. This costs you 6,000 energy, and this is, from my experiences, less than you gain when you're farming out a level. And still giving me a decent chance of gaining the cards. Wonderful. Wow, that was fast. So, Apocalypses. Oh yeah. Scorned enemies deal less damage. That was my second one already. We're starting to build collections slowly. Yeah, the nether bosses are a lot more difficult when you face them the second time. The first time was just a warm-up round, but now I'm at the second time, and there I already noticed that they were a lot more resilient. So, but I do appreciate some challenge, because up until this point we didn't have too much challenges here, but that's also okay. Consider myself very happy to manage a card drop just like that. I mean, I'm not even on S knowledge yet. Doesn't happen too often. I haven't started grinding specialized cards yet. But I was wondering if I should start with that at some point. But then again, picking up a little bit of everything sounds so appealing too. I really think that the cards, though, are a very, very powerful late-game mechanism to bolster up your firepower. Because if you accumulate more and more of these buffs, it's noticeable that you turn stronger. You focus on defense. I see. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm not able to focus myself into a certain playstyle that much. If I would have already determined which focus I would go, I would do something similar like you do, Hjörin. Alright, let's see. I'm pretty sure I will be going down like that again. So... I'm also getting flooded by negative conditions. And we're actually destroying ourselves with the initial spell casts. That's what's happening there. My automatic spell casts are ripping me apart. Let's see if my Evoker is faring better against that. I wonder. For some reason it feels like every card you get from a particular set decreases the chances for another one for the same set. Well, can't tell. Can't tell. So let's try the Evoker. My Evoker has a lot more versatility spell-wise. Well, the Evoker gets immune against debuffs at some point, so that trick should be a lot less effective here. I'm really curious if that will be better now. Ah, here we go. Alright, here goes the spam. Okay, so the automatic spellcasts are definitely a problem there. I wonder if I can't do it if I reach a point where at least one or two of my critters survive the initial onslaught. I mean, everybody here has a gem equipped which is supposed to resurrect him when he dies, but turns out Necromancer minion spam is a very strong shield against automated spellcast flurries. Comes very unexpected for me. Well, I guess it's time to whip out the good old tribalist and pimp out the diabolical hordes again. At least that's my first thought there. Diabolic Rebel, okay. Rebel Flag. Creatures' Diabolic Horde's traits act as if your party contains 3 more Diabolic Horde. Yeah, thanks, just what I needed. Because I got that slight feeling that against a minion master, I will have a lot more success if I just go for a lot more beef. Because these guys are all rather squishy. But so it slowly begins that I need to specialize more and more into certain fights to make them happen positively. And that's what I really enjoy a lot. No, Necromancer doesn't suck at all. It's just a little bit anti-intuitive to get the ball rolling. And you have to work with tools which are, well, a little bit unorthodox for a Necromancer, like the whole Apocalyptic Rider mechanic, for example. It's a little bit weird. I don't think that I have any chance against that build, honestly. I just want to give it another try, but honestly, I don't think that we're able to do that. This time we got immune against debuffs earlier. Maybe this will work, though, now. Because after 12 successful spellcasts, my creatures are immune against debuffs. Question will just be, do I have resurrects going on or not? So the first enemy died. I just wonder why my resurrects are not triggering. That's the only thing I don't understand. Like, why does the sacrifice to light not trigger? Ah, because most of them don't have the sacrifice to the light equipped anymore. Haha. Well, now that explains a lot. Why is my resurrect not working? Because it's not attached. You fool. Alright, so turns out the extra slots from my specialization get cut off, and therefore... Oh, that's bad. Because that means I have to re-equip a lot of things whenever I get back to the evoker. Dang it, I don't like that. Alright, now that explains a lot. Because I was thinking the whole time that I was seeing a little bit few resurrects here happening. I know that they can do that better. Well, one more try and then I'm going to log off for today. If that doesn't work, I'm going to rely on some old-fashioned methods, or I'll just bring up spells to scare away minions, because there's a lot of minion destroying spells as well. Well. Oh, another portal. Nice. Now, I want a rematch. But at least I'm grinding out creature masters like crazy right now, which is also pretty cool. Because every master rank after all gives me also bonuses against the creatures. And also for the creatures if I play them myself, so it's a pretty good thing to have. Where is the portal? Meanwhile, just also leveling my critters a little bit. That's the first nether boss since a long time that's actually stopping me. So I think I had a progression streak now since, I don't know, basically since my creatures were around level 700. And now we're 1400, so... we got quite far with the stuff I'm playing here right now. But where's that nether portal? Come on. Yeah, compared to the Pyromancer, my Evoker is a lot slower. Because we have a lot more utility random costs getting triggered by the auto-cost traits there. Here we go. Let's see if that works better with more resurrects. Debuff galore. Yeah, all those reflects are really an issue there. But there's still nobody resurrecting himself. I don't get it. I really don't get it. there some minion under suppressing that ability? I wonder. But I think I'll have to try it with a different approach. I got the slight feeling as if it will be all quite easy to solve if I don't have these massive auto triggers. And it's a good example for auto triggers just destroying you while being an absolutely fascinating and astonishing option to farm. They are sometimes really bad when you are facing enemies which you need to take down more strategically. Alrighty friends, I'm going to say goodnight from here on. I am tired and I had my fun, and we're going to see what kind of class we're going to play next time. Maybe I'll just stick with something I already got, I don't know. So, sleep well everybody, and may Monday be kind to you. See you soon. Good